Nope.
Hello, dear listener. Thank you for joining me for the final video of the Japanese Urban Legend Marathon. I saved this one for last for a very clear-cut reason. It may be the last video I ever upload. I hope that's not the case, but since the theme of today's video revolves around legendary folktale that curses the reader, and often the listener, it may not end up too well for me. Let's hope, for all our sakes, that the following 5 forbidden Japanese tales are only myths. I am joined today by guest narrator FearAddict. So, if some misfortune may fall upon you after listening, I'm not the only one to blame. If you survive the video, make sure you go check out his channel and subscribe if you like what you hear. Now that I've gotten all of the formalities and warnings out of the way, let's begin. Number 1. Purple Mirror. Many cultures have stories of one's vanity leading to their downfall. For Japan, it's the legend of the Purple Mirror. Years ago lived a girl who was gifted a small purple mirror from her mother. She loved the mirror, and it quickly became her most prized possession. She spent all day staring into the mirror, admiring its beauty. Due to her own arrogance, delusion, and desperation to be beautiful, she developed anorexia. The girl continued to lose weight, allowing her health to deteriorate even further, leaving her body looking gaunt and sickly. Eventually, the girl thought it would be nice to decorate her beloved mirror by painting it purple. Upon doing so, she looked back at her reflection and was finally able to see what she had become. Disgusted with herself, she threw the mirror down, smashing it into pieces. After seeing the shards on the ground, she immediately regretted destroying her mother's gift. As the girl neared her 20th birthday, and while she prepared her coming-of-age party, she was tragically and fatally struck by a car. As she laid in the street, breathing her last breath, the final words to leave her mouth were, "Purple mirror, purple mirror, purple mirror." After she was laid to rest, her parents were cleaning out her room and tried hard to find the purple mirror, to no avail. Since her death, uttering the words "purple mirror" in Japanese means being cursed to death. How you will be killed is unsure, but your body will never be found. All that will be left will be shards of purple glass where you were last seen. What brings me a bit of comfort is knowing that the legend says the curse is aimed towards people under the age of 20. If the adolescent victim-to-be still remembers the words "purple mirror" on their 20th birthday, will have death befall upon them. I myself am over the age of 20, so in theory, I should be safe, right?
Number 2. Read by FearAddict. The Red Room. We all hate pop-ups, right? This one is a whole different breed. The legend of the Red Room revolves around a cryptic pop-up that targets different people as they surf the web. It starts out looking like a random, somewhat basic page with elementary coding. That's just used to cloak the sinister power behind it. The story that accompanies the legend tells of a young teen who was addicted to the internet. The young man was told about the Red Room from a friend, but did not think much of it. While surfing later that day, he encountered a weird pop-up. The pop-up is described to be red with a seemingly handwritten message asking, "Do you like?" As the boy X'd out of the window, he was distressed to find it almost instantly returned. After several rapid attempts to rid his screen of the pop-up, he realized the message had slowly been growing each time it popped back up. The once fragmented sentence now read, Do you like the Red Room? Not only had the message become fully formed, but as he read the text, he heard the voice of a young child speaking the message aloud. As soon as the voice was heard, his screen went completely black before displaying a long list of names. At the bottom of the list was the name of the friend who told him about the Red Room. It was at this point the teen heard something behind him and fell unconscious. His body was found in his room the next day, dead of apparent suicide. The walls of his room were coated red from his own blood.
Number 3. Cowhead. This one is a bit odd. Not for the reasons you may think, though. The story of Cowhead, or Gozu, is extremely cryptic and ambiguous. You see, the actual story of Cowhead seems to be lost in history. Originating in 17th century Japan, Cowhead was deemed so disturbing that there were people literally dying of fright after hearing it. This led to the destruction of any physical copy of the story. Another legend, within a legend if you will, it tells of an elementary school teacher who was intrigued by horror stories. He would often share the chilling tales with his students, using the extra terrifying ones as a way to settle down and essentially silence the class when they acted up. One night, when the class was returning home from a field trip, the teacher brought up Cowhead. Apparently, he had come into possession with enough fragments of the story that he was able to piece the narrative together. He announced to the rowdy class that he would share the story with them, which caused the kids to lose control and beg him not to. Ignoring their requests, the teacher proceeded to speak. According to the sources, the teacher showed signs of a possession or a trance while speaking. When he awoke, he found that the bus had crashed into a ditch. The children were pale white and foaming at the mouth. The driver was having some type of anxiety or panic attack as he hunched over the wheel in fear. As for the actual story itself, sorry, I tried my best to find it but came up empty-handed. All you will find is a summarized version of the first part of the story. Alone, the fragmented story doesn't hold much weight, but regardless, here it is. Archaeologists are excavating a small, deserted village in a remote area of Japan. As they're digging, they find an oddly shaped skeleton that appears to have a body of a human, but the head of a cow. The bones are separated and somewhat scattered. Intrigued, the archaeologists research the remains and find some answers. The village they were digging up had fallen victim to harsh famine. Starving and desperate, the villagers began to eat every animal they had: cattle, horses, poultry, even cats and dogs, until no meat remained. People eventually began to perish due to starvation. It wasn't long until an oddly shaped creature wandered into their town, with the body of a human and the head of a cow. It is said the person or creature was attacked and killed by the villagers before being torn apart and consumed. Before it died, this creature, or the Gozu, put a curse on the village, and their misfortune, pain, and tribulations grew tenfold. That is where the story ends. I wish I could tell you more. If anyone knows where to find the full story, please let me know.
Number 4. Read by FearAddict. The Dream School. The boy in this story is simply referred to as K. K went to sleep one night, like normal, and began to experience an extremely vivid dream. In this dream, he was alone in an unfamiliar school. As he wandered around trying to open the doors and windows, he began to realize they were all locked, thus trapping the young man in the building. Slightly panicked, Kay quickly paced all around the dark school, entering classroom after classroom, trying to find a way out. He began to get lost in the winding hallways, ending up where he started without any knowledge of how he got there. It was almost as if the layout fed into an endless loop. It felt like he'd been there for days, but the light of dawn had yet to seep through the old, dirty windows. Unaware of the time, Kay heard a clock begin to chime. He looked up and saw the antique clock, with its large metal pendulum rocking side to side with each ring. As if on cue, the chiming was followed by a set of heavy footsteps from the distance. Kay listened closely, and to his dread, the footsteps were getting louder and louder as whatever was causing them got closer. Terrified, Kay made a run for it. As he continued to search for a way out, he heard the footsteps growing near, until the ground shook beneath him. As he turned a final corner, a miraculous sight was seen in the distance, an emergency exit. Kay ran to the door to find it locked like the rest. Beside the door was a glass container that housed a key to the door, but to Kay's dismay, the glass was shattered. In the box was a note indicating that the key was located in room 108. Seeing as the key was his only hope of escape, Kay sprinted in search for room 108. He found it and entered, slamming the door behind him. He still could hear the heavy footsteps getting closer. The classroom was filled with empty desks, each with a backpack hung on the chairs. Kay desperately searched each bag, each drawer of the teacher's desk, each cabinet, and everywhere he could think of to locate the key, to no avail. At this point, the footsteps were just outside the door. Loud footsteps turned into violent banging on the thick wooden door. Kay stood there frozen, not sure what to expect on the other side. Just when he thought the door would give way to the pounding, it stopped. A deafening silence befell room 108. Kay waited a bit, listening intently. Not a peep was heard from the other side. He inched his way to the door and listened again. Nothing. After taking a deep breath, Kay braced himself and opened the door. His heart almost stopped inside his chest. Standing outside of room 108 was a large group of children. These children were clearly dead. The adolescent corpses were rotted, pale, and bloody. Many were missing limbs, skin, and organs. Behind them was a thick trail of blood. Despite their condition, all the kids were dancing. They danced and danced as Kay watched in absolute horror. Kay never awoke. He was trapped in that dream, assumingly destined to join the group of children in their eternal dance of pain and torment. Here's the best part. Now that you've heard the story, you have 1 week to erase it from your memory. If after 7 days the thought of the story continues to linger in your mind, you too will awake in a vivid dream. You will find yourself in an unfamiliar school. You will hear the clock chime. You will hear the footsteps. You will join Kay.
Number 5. Tomino's Hell. You may have heard of Gloomy Sunday, aka the Suicide Song, in a previous video I've made. The legend of Tomino is extremely similar, but because of its more exotic origin, it scares me a lot more. Simply put, Tomino's Hell is a poem that, if read out loud, will kill you. How? Not sure. It is usually at the hands of some freak accident. Crashing your car, an animal attack, lightning strike. It's really not up to me to decide. There are stories of people reading only parts of the poem before second-guessing their actions and eventually hurting themselves. While I cannot recite the Japanese version even if I wanted to, I can recite the English translation. There's a reason I saved this for last. I'm going to do this for you, dear listener. Do you see how much I love all of you beautiful people? Let's make a deal. If I can read the entire thing and I don't die halfway through, you have to like and subscribe. Sounds like an even trade to me. I'm risking my life, all for a couple seconds of your time. Deal? Cool. Let's begin. Tomino's Hell. The older sister vomits blood. The younger sister spits fire. Cute Tomino spits treasured jewels. Tomino died alone and fell into hell. Hell, darkness with no flowers. Is it Tomino's older sister that whips? The number of red welts is worrisome, whipping and beating and pounding. The path to eternal hell is only one way. Beg for guidance into the darkness of hell. From the golden sheep, from the nightingale. How much is left in the leather bag? Prepare for the endless journey into hell. Spring comes, and into the woods and valleys. 7 turns in the dark valley of hell. In the cage is a nightingale. In the cart is a sheep. In the eyes of cute Tomino are tears. Cry, nightingale, for the woods and the rain, voicing your love for your sister. The echo of your cry howls through hell, and a blood-red flower blooms. Through the 7 mountains and valleys of hell, cute Tomino travels alone. To welcome you to hell, the glimmering spikes of the needled mountain stick fresh punctures in the flesh as a sign to cute Tomino. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed not only this video, but the entire Japanese urban legend series. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, and to check out FearAddict's channel by clicking the link in the annotation on screen now. Halloween is almost among us, so be on the lookout for some bonus content I'll be releasing over the weekend, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until then, everyone, stay safe out there, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.